Hello and welcome everybody. Welcome to the Great Poker Chip Adventure. Today we're playing with a French deck, kind of some museum tourist trash as they call it. Grab 2 cards off of your decks at home if you're interested in playing this hand. Tell us what you have in the comments if you want. There's no prize. It's just, for bragging rights on YouTube. Oh snap. That's awfully straighty. Somebody's hoping their flush comes in. Let's see what happens. Ooh, pretty interesting. Somebody maybe got there. Huh, interesting. Not the flush, but a straight. Let's see what I would have, not what I would have had, but I'm just going to draw 2 cards off the top here. Oh man, terrible. Okay, well, tell us what you have if you feel like it's interesting. Today we're talking about the BRPro Poker Chips. We're going to talk about a couple of different ones, but the main one I want to focus on are these Valentino Fantasy Casino by BRPro Poker. I always like to tease things to come. This is kind of a little teaser for a video that I'm working on. Hopefully we can get that squared away. Now, how do these chips do? They look like poker chips. They smell like poker chips. They sound like poker chips. They are poker chips. I'm kidding, guys. They don't smell at all. These are ceramics. Like I said, I ordered these from BRPro Poker. Let me lay out these denominations in no particular order so you can have a look for yourself. These are some stock poker chips, some stock design poker chips from BRPro Poker. Remember, with ceramics, you can easily customize these as semi-custom chips. BRPro Poker is very good about that. Some quick fine print just at the beginning. When you order one of these, remember, any ceramic set, and even the standard ceramic sets, are printed to order. Does that make sense? So if you order some, it will take, according to their website, a couple of weeks for those to arrive at your doorstep because they are custom made. So just be aware of that. Just wanted to prep you guys in case some of you have an interest in these chips. Now, the Valentinos here, we're not going to talk about all of the usual things because they've already been discussed in other videos. For example, the quality control and the materials, all of those are exactly the same as the Tiki Kings, okay? The Tiki Kings were also ordered from BRPro Poker. As far as I can tell, these are the same blanks, okay? They have the same weight, the same thickness, the same quality control. Well, I'll show you a little bit of that there, like with flatness and stuff, but as far as like the actual physical chip goes, yeah, they're the same as the Tiki Kings, just, casino quality, world-class ceramics. There's always somebody out there who's like, they're not world-class. Yeah, they are. I'm not saying they're the best in the world, but I'm saying they are of the highest standard, okay? So we'll plow through that. And the thing I want to focus on is design. And I'm going to roll in a couple of other treats here at the end. Buckle up. Okay, so the design is the main focus here with any standard stock poker chip, okay? Now, some people are going to look, leave a comment if you're one of these people. Some people will see these chips and just be like, oh my gosh, I'm in love, and they will love these chips. Now, in my life, this is a little insight into my life. I always grab a few of these chips, okay? Whenever I go out, like let's say we're going to a bar, okay? So meeting some friends at a bar, I grab a few of these, whatever chips, whatever samples I have, okay? I'll just grab some chips almost always, randomly, put them in my shirt pocket, and when we show up, conversation gets kind of dry or goes a direction I don't like, I have no idea. People are talking about some random stuff I don't care to talk about. I'll pull these out and start playing with them, and then I always get attention, whether it be from the waiter or even from the people next to us. And they're always like, oh my gosh, are those poker chips? Where'd you get these? And I always tell them, oh, well, BRPro Poker, go check out my YouTube channel, and then they play with them. I'm like, what do you think of these? Okay. One lady hated these chips. It was this one in particular, this 2. Okay. She hated this chip. She looked at this. She's just like, I don't like this pastel, the watermelon, and this yeah, I just don't like this. It just reminds me of my grandmother's house. It makes me sick physically. I just could never buy something like this. Meanwhile, several other people really enjoyed these chips. They're like, wow, these are so lovely. They are such a lovely chip. Okay, so immediately, you know, this could easily be a love-hate set right here for a lot of you. Like I said, you know, you're going to see comments. People will be like, oh my gosh, those are lovely. Other people will roll in and just be like, I don't like those very much. Well, you know, where do I stand on it? Well, I'll tell you here at the end. So from a design standpoint, let's have a look at what we're talking about here. These are very light colors, okay? They're not deep, rich, dark. Like, you know, you compare the 100 with the Tiki Kings. You can see this is just solid, dark 100. This one has the dark around the edges, and then it has this graduated, you know, lightness here in the center. And then all the denominations here are in this dark, blackish color, okay? Maybe more of a slate than like a solid black. Okay, so they're very light, they're very happy. And, you know, some people will really like that. The colors aren't really vivid. Like, here's a scroll ceramic, again, for comparison. So you look at the 5s. This is not like a solid, deep, impressive red. This is almost like a light maroonish color compared to the scrolls. So the colors, you can see, are very... do you want to compare some others? Let's see what we can find. Yeah, here's a Venerati 25 compared to this 25. You can see the, you know, the difference here. This one has a lighter token here in the middle as well. I don't know what else you guys want to see. Crown Laurels. I don't know what. Anyway, that's probably enough for now. So yeah, that's what you're getting. Okay. In addition to the colors, you also have this cursive text. Okay. You can see here kind of in gold, Valentino Poker Room. There's a little redundancy here. It says the Valentino, Las Vegas, Nevada, obviously a fantasy casino. And then they wrote the Valentino right here as well in a non-radial sort of way. Poker Room, gold. Your little Boy Scout, Webelos, Cub Scouts, little motif right there. There's a name for that. I forget what it's called off the top of my head. And then your number, okay? Little, you know, embellishments here. So in the edge spots, okay? So let's talk about the edge spots here real quick. We're going to start from the 1. Okay, it looks like they are lined up more or less. This is a degree or 2 off. So it is slightly off. You flip it around, you know, it looks like these are lined up with the edge spots. That's added value right there. 2 edge spots on the number 1. You look at the number 5, which is the next, you know, natural progression for many people, particularly casinos. I understand for cash games it'll be different. We're looking at the same 2 edge spots, top and bottom. Well, that's lovely. The 25, it is different. You get 4 edge spots, and they're subtle. Look at this nice brown. It complements the brownish gold of the poker room right here. And then you get the 2 edge spots, top and bottom, so you get 4 edge spots. So you get edge spot progression. Wow, that's lovely on a ceramic chip. They did a very good job. It's so subtle, a lot of people will never notice it. The 100, same thing. You know, you're looking at some bolder colors here. The 2-line, or you could consider it 3-line if you consider the base color, the parent color, one of the lines, you know, around the edges here. So you get some edge spot progression. And let's say you, instead of a 4 denomination set, let's say you're looking at 5, okay? You want to move into the 500. Look, again, edge spot progression. It's just such a lovely, they did such a lovely job with the edge spot progression here. Something that I definitely noticed right off the bat. But again, look at the colors. They look very reserved. Again, love-hate. Some people will love it, some people hate it, and some people just may not care for it, right? So it's interesting. You can look at some of the other denominations here. Just go to their website. You'll be able to see all kinds of interesting things. You'll notice there's no denomination as far as like dollar, pound, euro on this. It's just 500. The only ones that have any markings as far as currency are the cents. 50 cents, 25 cents. That seems pretty standard across the board for BRPro Poker. Okay, so the Valentinos. What do I think of the design? I like it. I'm not in love with them, but I like it. The progression, everything works really well for me. Yeah, I do not like the 2. I kind of agree. This is kind of watermelon-y, maybe a little too pastel. And I don't like the scents either, okay? But as far as all of, you know, any of the normal progression here on poker chips, all of this is very good, okay? I would consider it these are pretty classy looking chips. If somebody busted these out in our weekly poker game, I would absolutely just be like, oh, I love these chips. They're pleasant to look at. They're not too vulgar. Yeah, as far as my personality goes, these are not a perfect match for my personality. I'm more of the vulgar. I like just really loud, bold, almost childish design. Okay, just my style. But these are really growing on me. I really like these. I just wish, again, my personality, that they were a little bit more bold with some of the colors. Like the 5, I wish they would have made it a little bit more red. The 5000 maybe a little more orange or something. I don't know, but there's, to me it's just so close to something that I would really like. But for some reason, for me, and now this is a very personal thing. Design is a very personal thing, so I'm not, criticizing it. I'm just sharing how I feel about it. From a color standpoint, it doesn't appeal to me. From a design standpoint, I cannot find any fault with these. The edge spot progression, the denominations, the way that they very deliberately branded this like a casino would with this redundancy, the Valentino. Beautiful, beautiful design. Again, whoever is designing chips at BRPro Poker must have some multiple degrees in graphic design, because they're really on a roll here when it comes to interesting things. But there is a downside to that as well. Maybe we should just get to that right now. But Valentino, if you like these, if you like the look of this, absolutely buy them. I can recommend them. The chips are rock solid. They, like any ceramic, they're not perfect. They can chip. You can scratch them. If you take a knife to them, a machete or a shotgun, you will damage them. But, just treat them right. They'll treat you right, okay? Ceramics, as all ceramics, they're very easy to shuffle. They're just simply lovely. Kind of the matte finish. They have the very Chipco feel to them. I suspect they source these to PGI or somebody to have them made on the old Chipco equipment, but just absolutely, the materials are great, lead free, great design. I mean, great design. Just, the colors don't appeal to me. So that said, let's talk about some other BRPro Poker bonus material here. Valentino's recommended if you like the way they look. BRPro Poker also makes the Tiki Kings. I'm not going to pull any more out. We're just going to leave it at that. I love these chips. They're very me. You can go watch my other video about that. They also make the Dragons, the Lucky Dragon poker chips. I made a separate video about these. You can go watch that as well. Now, let's pull out some other ones that you may not have seen. We are going to pull out first the Bold class. Now, back to design. Okay, we're looking at a non-radial design, which I really like. Okay, they kind of have a sun ray design right here as a background. They have this bold line right here, which I like. It's a non-radial design. Yes, thank you. Okay, and then they have this recess printed in. So it looks like a recess, but it actually isn't a recess. This is actually a smooth chip with no drop-offs. They just put the shading in to make it look like there's some depth there. I really like that. Okay, it's thinking outside the box. Somebody's using their brain. They're like, hey, we can give these chips some texture without giving them texture. They have a beautiful matte finish, just like any of the other BRPro Poker chips. They're easy to shuffle. They're just rock solid when it comes to quality. So those are some of the positives of the Bold class here. But okay, this is me talking about my opinions again, not about any fault of the chip. For me, I don't like a couple of things about these chips. Number one is I don't like how they spell out dollars here. It's just my preference. Okay, I don't like that. I understand they were trying to avoid any sort of fantasy casino. I can understand what they were doing here with that. I just don't like it. Okay, so they were at 100, and then they have the number 100. Again, yeah. Now something else that kind of I see here. It looks like they were so caught up in sticking with this recess look that they missed the ball, like strike out like in baseball when it came to colors. Instead of making just a white 1, they're like, oh, well, we have white here and we have the white. We can't make a white one. Maybe we should make it blue. Okay, you know. And so then they get to the 100 and it looks like they're compensating now, or they're, you know, trying to make compromises here. It's just like, oh, well, oh, we can't do black because our text is black. Can we make that white? But then if we make that white, then we're going to make this black. We can't make this black if this is black. You see what I'm saying? So this line right here, if they made that black, then they put white lines here and they made the text white. Well, then what are they going to make this shading pattern? How are they going to make it look recessed? And so again, they were compromising, like on the one. We can't make this one white. We can't make this one black. Let's make it both blue. And so you have two blue, okay? And yeah, you know, I mean, it's dark enough. You're not going to confuse those in a hand. It's easy to see that there's a difference there. But some problems are color balance, okay? So let's say you want 300 and you want 4 denominations, the 1, 5, 25, and 100. That's a pretty common denomination. That's a, you know, a pretty common set. Where's the warmth? It's all just these dark colors, and you have the one red to offset it. So you're like, oh, well, you know, we'll get the 500, you know, to even, oh, no, it's more just sad, dismal colors. Aww. Now, some of you won't care, and I understand that, but I'm talking about how I feel about it. I'm not, I, you know, want more warmth. I want more color balance. Does that make sense? It's just so blue here. I'd rather have like a big, bold, black 100. But because they were trying to stick to this design, you know, motif of the recessed look here, illusion, they avoided that. All right, so, you know, maybe, you know, get the 1,000, maybe get this set instead, the 25, 100, 500, and 1,000. I don't know, that might be one alternative. So for me, the bold class never quite did it for me as far as like a set that really appealed to me. It seemed close. I like some of the design cues, just they didn't, in my opinion, get it to my liking. Again, you know, if it appeals to you, absolutely go get it. This is one of my least favorite BRPro Poker sets. Let's just put that over here by the tikis. And the last set I want to roll in today are these Dropa discs. Okay, this is a sample set. And understand, these are not the correct color denomination combinations. Okay, so for example, this is not the normal $1 chip. The $1 chip actually is a white chip. Okay, so, you know, I like these Dropa discs more than the bold class here. Not as much as the Valentinos, the Tikis, or the Lucky Dragons. These are nice and bold, but for some reason for me, they just don't do it. The apple pie crust look, I do like it that they have depth. I do like it that they have bold colors as options. Again, this is a semi-custom set, so sample set. So I think this is normally a 1,000 chip. Maybe it was 5,000. Either way, this is not the correct denominations. You'll have to go to their website to get the correct nominations. But the Dropa discs are also interesting. They actually sent with this sample set. You know, it's a sample set, so don't expect this. You know, when you order a sample set, just you're going to get some samples. And they sent some plaques here, and I think these are the correct denominations: the 5,000, the 10,000, and the 25,000. Pretty interesting. How do they compare? You know, to other plaques? You know, why don't we do a sound test and we'll roll in some competitive options, and we'll see what they're like. All these BRPro poker chips sound the same. Okay, we've already established that. I'm going to move the rest of these off the screen here so we can focus on giving you a good sound experience here and see some competitive options. Plaques. Gosh, there's so much I need to do, guys. I'm so far behind. We're just going to do this real quick. Ceramics sound very similar. Notice the Nevada Jacks have edge spots. The BRPro Poker Dropa discs don't. Oh, maybe I should do this as well. Hey, I wonder if you can shuffle these ceramics. Has anybody tried this? Does this work? I don't know if this works. Here goes nothing. All right, you can almost shuffle. I can almost shuffle. I've never tried this before. With practice, maybe this would become easier. Ha, I got it. Wow, look at that. They can be shuffled. All right, what were we doing? Sound tests and comparison and competitive options. Then you get some things like the Majestics. Very different. All right, let's get that out of the way. All right, now I'm going to roll in mostly ceramics, and we're going to represent some other chips as well. For China clays, we're going to use Milanos. Should I roll in some Paulsons as kind of a standard? We'll roll in the hundreds today. And Nevada Jacks we'll want to discuss. I have scrolls. Should we do some Venerati? Oh, they're all over the place up here. Some Crown Laurel chips. Where are my Crown Laurels? Oh, here they are. Should we grab the sample set? Okay, that'll work. Nile Club. We need some representation of metal insert chips. Throw in some of these Claysmith Desert Heat. And anything else you guys want to hear? We already have China Clays. I guess the Championship Poker Series sound a little different than other China Clays. Maybe we'll roll some of those in. Ooh, Next Gen. Let's roll some of these in. And we have metal insert. Yeah, okay. I think we're good. And we'll throw in some ASM. Sorry, some classic poker chips. Do we have Nevada Jack? Yeah, we do. All right, okay, let's get going. We're just gonna run through these. Poker Room. Valentino Poker Room. Versus the Scroll. Now we're gonna compare it to the Nile Club. Nevada Jack. Crown Laurel. Venerati. Okay, those are the ceramics. Let's move into some other lower end chips here. Next Gen. Metal insert chips are represented here with Claysmith. Desert Heat. Paulsons as the standard. And let's run some China Clays. Ooh, China Clays sure feel good. And finally, the classic poker chips, represented by Key West here. All right, there you have it. BRPro Poker is one of my recommended poker chip dealers here in the United States. They have good customer service. Remember, when you order their chips, it will take 1 to 2 weeks to arrive at your door, as each set is custom ordered for you. So you don't have to order them in groups of 25, in rolls of 25. If you want 27 chips, and if you want, 27 25s, you want 107 thousands, you can order whatever you want in your set. It's awesome. So definitely check out BRPro Poker. My other recommended dealer, not for the Valentinos, but for other poker chips, is Apache Poker Chips. Those two are my favorite dealers. I order things here and there from other places as well. I've had good experiences with most places. So leave a comment if you have any thoughts, want to share any experiences with ceramics. Valentino. Beautiful, beautiful chips, and I can recommend these chips to anybody who finds them interesting. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe.